Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT news. Plenty to dive into today because as Sentinels and TenZ get ready for the upcoming VCT season, he's revealed further details on how he intends to play his roles going forward, suggesting that the rifle, that's gone and dusted for now. It's going to be all operator going forwards, pretty much regardless of the agent that he is running. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Plenty to dive into. Firstly, quick note here from the VCT confirming it's all done for 2022. This is interesting that I don't know how I didn't really notice this before, but I saw Bodok point this out, and it's actually very true that the VCT logo here is not just I thought maybe it was just a series of arrows, but you guys can see the top one is quite clearly just the VALORANT logo. Don't really know why that escaped my attention before, but I'll definitely never not see that ever again. This quickly from Critical as well, one of the players that we've talked about from the tier 2 side for quite some time, looking for team on the Ascension side, preferring of course Initiator or the Sentinel role. Bit of a difficult time being maybe this late on in the cycle just because many of those teams are formed. We haven't really seen too many developments over the last couple of weeks exactly what's happening with, let's say, Stewie's team or what's happening with Shroud's team, if that's even a possibility anymore, if they're even doing that. But yeah, only a week and a bit away from everything kicking off there again. So yeah, we'll just have to see how these teams develop and whether when the sign-ups officially occur, whether we get any interesting insight into where some of these guys might potentially be ending up. Quick note as well here from Will. I thought you guys might find this interesting. If you guys are looking to improve pistol rounds, these are the guys to look at. So this is the entirety of the VCT 2022 in terms of, well, international events, right, in terms of rounds played. So Leviathan had the highest percentage by far, 67% of pistol rounds they won, well over, well, marginally over 2/3, 23 they won out of 34, very impressive stuff, and then, but obviously not the highest sample size here compared to a team like DRX that played 88 pistol rounds, or OpTic that played 126 and won precisely 50%. Interesting that OpTic, FPX and Loud all won precisely 50% of their pistol rounds at the top events. But if you guys are looking for something to look into, maybe DRX here, because 88 rounds played, 51 is pretty impressive because that's going to be a large selection of maps and stuff there. So yeah, one to keep your eyes on for sure. Quick note as well on this, because it's really cool to see Na'Vi now after getting cNed into the team, and Simbad of course is there from the Counter-Strike side. They played a 1 versus 1 and they put it up on the YouTube channel. I believe cNed got the better of Simple here. Expectedly so, in fairness, because they were playing this on Valorant. I do think that maybe what they could have done is have a bit of a back and forth here where, you know, they play on Valorant a bit and then they go over to CS and play a 1v1 over there. Maybe that would be the way to go, because obviously Simple can shoot straight, there's no doubt about that, but cNed, you know, he knows the angles better, he knows the wall banks better and stuff like this, where Simple doesn't necessarily. So maybe there's a fairer way to do this in the future, but pretty cool stuff nonetheless. And cNed of course getting ready to go with this Na'Vi team going forwards. That EMEA region is absolutely stacked, there is no doubt about it. Now, speaking of the North American franchise league, one of the big questions has been what's going on with the roles. Are there going to be any significant changes for many of these teams? And also TenZ has talked about what his plan is on the Sentinel side for which role he's going to run, because last season was a bit of a question mark really for them. He wanted to run the Jet for some time, then Chamber came out and it was like, well, should TenZ be on the Chamber? I think it took them probably too long to adapt Sentinels, and probably with their new coach and their new team, they've pretty much completely blown apart that roster, right, and TenZ has stayed, and they've now got Zekken in and Dephh is their IGL, and everything's changed in that Sentinels camp. So I think they're kind of, you know, their issues maybe that they had the last couple of seasons where they don't quite have the rapidity to change and keep up with the meta and even stay ahead of the meta maybe that they've had the last couple of years might well go away now, and that might be something that TenZ is certainly looking into doing, and the other teams will see if they can keep up with that or what the plan is going to be, because we know that Liquid and Jampier and these guys do on occasion quite like to use the operator more often than not on pretty much any agent that he's played. And yes, TenZ has been keeping his Vandal in form, and he was talking about the Vandal and making sure that you tap with it and don't spray with it, and he's trying to get his taps ready to go, and we'll see some example of that too in a second. But he pretty much says outright that he's going to be on the sole operator going forwards. The team is probably fully set up around him now, and we know that some players either do that or don't like to do that. We saw a couple of weeks ago now the drama between FNS and babybay, where FNS was like, look, babybay, you're never going to get a team by just playing the Sentinels, and I mean, look, the guy clearly hasn't changed his mind at all, because we see here on his Twitter last night, he says Sentinels one trick. Look, don't get me wrong, Radiant number 9, impressive set of victories, but just playing Killjoy and Cypher in ranked is not necessarily going to get you a spot on a starting franchise team. That was the argument of FNS. We'll see if it works out for babybay, because clearly he's not taking any of that advice to heart. But you know, TenZ has said that he's very clear that he's going to play many different agents, going to learn plenty of different things, but arguably is going to run the operator regardless. This is an interesting idea, and we have seen this on occasion sometimes where certain players will rather enjoy playing the operator, pretty much whatever agent they use, still be effective with said agent, Valorant, but not exactly always playing a jet that is designed for the operator, but playing a KO or something else as well. This seems to be TenZ's plan, because he says right here that based on his results recently and ranked in his playstyle, that his operator has been so good lately and so impactful that he wants to use it regardless of the circumstances. And he probably won't be using the Vandal all that much, if at all, unless it contributes to the team's overall goals, or they just straight up can't afford it.
Here, let's try opping on a. I'll do the Yampu, where you're playing not an opping agent, but you op. Flash behind, careful.
Brimwell site, keep going on.
I can come back and ult out the body. Just wait. Wait.
I'll flash go.
I can come back and ult out the body. Just wait. Wait.
You are in the head. What our KO work? It's fine. It's fine.
No, wait. See, the KO op works. Trust. It always does. My rifle sucks. I have to use this. Me opping versus me rifling.
I'm gonna eye when they're coming out, maybe. Yep.
I'm blind.
Dogen for you. One now. That's not hookah.
Good job.
Nice shots.
You can the thing is you can miss the knife. Remember when the knife hitbox was like awful? I mean,
right down, man.
Ooh, I'm lucky
Nice
for
shot.
you.
So we saw right there what TenZ was up to, and even Zekken's reaction, right, looking at that, saying, wow, this guy's absolutely out of control, just running into the smoke with the orb, like just taking down the KO in the smoke with the no-scope. Some of the shots he was hitting as well, pretty disgusting. So, yeah, what do you guys expect to happen here? We know that TenZ is ridiculous on the operator. Obviously, he was hitting those nice shots as well with the Vandal towards the ends. There were some pretty disgusting ones, so it's not like he can't shoot with the rifle as well, but he was basically saying that, like, look, my results lately, my KD, my performances have been way better on the operator than they have been elsewhere. So maybe he says, look, set me up for it, boys, and that's the way to go. Because I think we saw last season, obviously the team has been built around TenZ to a certain extent, but you know, last season it was to such an extent that TenZ had to dominate and go off and drop like 40 for them to even win a map, and that obviously doesn't happen all that often, but it was effectively required for Sentinels to win. They were super reliant on TenZ. So I don't think they should be that way anymore. I think they have other players, the likes of Zekken and other really top talent in Sassy Bankada, to help them through moments where they don't need TenZ to go off. But nonetheless, if they can build a team around making TenZ thrive, that is where Sentinels of the past have dominated, right? You guys, of course, remember the Masters that they won, where TenZ on the jet and the operator was just one of the best individual performances from a player that we have seen in Valorant. That was partly his own ridiculous ability that we just saw glimpses of, but also his team was set up to help him thrive. And I do wonder if maybe a similar idea should be present here, where TenZ doesn't have to sacrifice anything. He can play what agent he wants to, or what agent the team wants him to, but he can still use the operator and make the most of that going forward. So maybe that's an indication into what Sentinel's plan will be. Zekken, of course, playing with him, getting some ideas how to play off him, so they're getting some reps in as well, of course, going into the new season. So definitely intrigued to your thoughts on all that in the comment section below. Couple of interesting things to close out here. Firstly, this from Yay, just pulled off the sickest 1v5 clutch in Valorant, etc, etc. Now, it turns out that this was basically an AI-generated tweet. So he put into ChatGPT, write me the best Valorant-related tweet ever, make it so that anyone will stop instantly and like it, and it came up with the following. And I do wonder, just because, you know, ChatGPT has been used for a lot of things lately. I've even been using it on my Formula 1 channel to kind of come up with title ideas and stuff like this. And it's really useful for kind of just doing the grunt work of like generating ideas. And then you can take some of those ideas and take them on to the next level. And I just wonder if there's any way this could be used in Valorant for, you know, effectiveness, right? Is it smart enough to know strats? Is it smart enough to know compositions? Like, could you ask it what composition to run on binds games up against a team that does this? Would it? No, probably not, but it might give you some ideas. I'm not really sure, but maybe the coaches and the kind of general managers of teams need to look into this, because this chatbot is certainly looking to kind of rewrite the way things are done in the world as it stands. But very much interested your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.